all going to show you the video. And by choosing to live a vegan lifestyle, you are not only leading a significantly healthier life for yourself, but you're also benefiting the environment and mankind. And I'm going to show you a portion of an interview done with Ellen DeGeneres. And he's going to vaguely talk about what factory farming is, and I will later go into detail about what that term actually means.
If you ask people, is it right to have a farm system that we know is making our antibiotics less effective? Drugs that we need, drugs that our kids need, nobody wants that. If you say, is it right to have a farm system that we know, as a rule, is destroying our environment? The United Nations said it's one of the top 2 or 3 causes of every significant environmental problem in the world. Nobody wants that. And nobody, I don't care how much or how little you care about animals, nobody wants to keep pregnant animals in little cages for the duration of their pregnancy.
Okay, so that just gave you like a brief little introduction about this factory farming concept. So what exactly is the difference between a vegetarian and a vegan? Well, whereas vegetarians, according to dictionary.com, is a person who does not eat or does not believe in eating meat, fish, or poultry. And according to vegan.org, a vegan is someone who, for various reasons, avoids using or consuming animal products. That includes byproducts. So vegetarians will eat eggs or consume dairy products like milk, cheese, anything like that. A vegan will not. No byproduct of an animal, they won't use leather or any other goods that come from animals. So what are the health benefits of being a vegan? Well, first of all, plants naturally are cholesterol-free, whereas an animal diet, they're very high in saturated fats, which is a cause to serious illnesses such as heart disease, colon and lung cancers, diabetes, kidney disease, obesity, high blood pressure, and osteoporosis. It is also known, according to vegan.org, that heart disease claims the life of 1 out of every 3 Americans. But on a good note for vegans, like if you choose to lead a vegan lifestyle, there was a British study conducted, and it found that if you switch to a vegan lifestyle, you can actually reduce your risk of developing heart disease by 32%. Now, a lot of people will try to argue the fact that you're not getting all of your essential vitamins and nutrients from just a plant-based diet, and that you need protein, iron, calcium, all of these things that come from animals. Well, that's not necessarily true, because you can obtain calcium from soy products. You can get your iron from legumes, chickpeas, spinach, anything like that, collard greens, what else, broccoli, kale, tofu, anything like that. And you can get protein from beans, peanuts, grains, anything like that as well. And also, there is a website that's called chooseveg.org, and it actually presents stories of people who they were sick, they were obese, they had heart disease, diabetes, they had chronic pains in their nerves, and after switching to a vegan lifestyle, they lost the weight, their diabetes are like better controlled, and there's no more nerve pain, like chronic nerve pain. So there are 3 common alternatives to meat, that being tofu, tempeh, and seitan, and they are all meat substitutes. The first 2 come from soy, and the last one is made from wheat. And the seitan, which is an example right here, this one is the one that actually most resembles the texture of meat, and it's usually used to replace chicken or beef products. Okay, so what about the environment? Well, raising animals for food produces more greenhouse gas emissions than all of the cars, planes, and other forms of transportation combined. That's a lot. And just to give you like a little fact, to produce 1 pound of animal protein versus 1 pound of soy protein, it takes about 12 times as much land, 13 times as much fossil fuel, and 15 times as much water. That's a lot of resources for the amount of food. And considering like world starvation, I mean, that's something to keep in mind. Also, the United Nations reports that a vegan diet feeds significantly more amount of people than an animal-based diet. Also, animal waste from these factory farms, which I will get into in the next slide, is the #1 pollutant in drinking water or groundwater. Not to mention it also causes other contamination problems for aquatic systems. The ammonia, it produces emissions that go into the air, and also just general contamination of groundwater or any kind of water. So what about the animals? Well, this is what I mean by factory farming. These pictures, and I thought pictures were worth 1,000 words. These are not farms that we learned about as little kids. These are not grassy greenlands. This is factory farming. We try to shove as many animals as you can into one place at a time. These cows here, they can't even turn around. They're stuck like that. Chickens, both animals, what goes into their feed is to make them grow bigger and faster, as fast as they can, as big as they can, as fast as they can. And what happens is, because their bone structure can't keep up with their weight, they fall, they can't move, they're living in their own fecal matter, dying, disease is horrible. Not to mention that the feed that goes into these animals is infused with hormones and antibiotics, so you as a consumer, when you're eating these animals, are indirectly eating the antibiotics. And that can actually affect, not only is it not good for you, but it affects your resistance to fight off bacteria. Okay. And that was all of that information, the statistics about antibiotics, that comes from the Washington Post. So in conclusion, choosing a vegan lifestyle not only benefits your own health, but also impacts the environment in a positive manner, which in turn is essential to the well-being of mankind. Only you can make a difference. And then, just in case anyone had any further questions or were interested, I listed some articles. They were interesting articles. Some of them come from the New York Times, I think was one of them. Another one is a vegan website, and it lists where you can get all of your vitamins and nutrients. It recommends doctors and everything. So if anyone was interested.